He is one of the stars of Scorpion on CBS. We share a hometown of Staten Island, New York.
A home borough.
But after that, Eddie Kaye Thomas, when you say you were a big fan of Lenny Dykstra growing up, we got to part ways right
Nails,
there.
baby.
You know, I know. I was a Yankee. I was a Yankee, not a Met, but nails.
But you gotta love Lenny.
Well, I mean, that big chaw.
Yeah, which is not allowed anymore.
No.
No more.
You could get kicked right out of Citi Field for that.
How do they catch somebody? They
Well,
say,
I guess...
give me that, spit it out. And then they gotta, like, hold it in their hand and examine the mound of black awfulness?
Yes, and it's kind of like telling a child, spit out your gum. You know what I mean?
That's the only way you can prove it.
That is, well, I guess, but where you could see your child chewing gum, this way you could see the big, protrusion of your tongue or your lip or your
I
cheek.
watched a lot of Lenny Dykstra growing up.
Yes.
And I never once felt the need to put something like that in my mouth. He made it look so disgusting.
Yes.
And he would, in between each swing,
out.
there was just tar coming out of his face.
On his follow-through of his swing would be the tar coming out of his face.
Yeah, it was more of a commercial to not do it than to do it. But I guess it's a good thing.
Do we have an update on his Mets while he's sitting here? Can we give him an update? Because the Mets...
Have they started yet?
The Mets, yeah, oh yeah.
It's freezing cold.
Oh yeah, it's opening day for the Mets in Citi Field. Jacob deGrom against Eichhoff of the Phillies, and deGrom said, his wife was expecting...
Is she in labor?
She was expected Tuesday.
Right.
As we know, it is now Friday.
Right.
And he told the Mets, the Mets, there's a cell phone next to one of the trainers for the Mets.
Wow.
That if that phone rings and his wife is in labor, he's leaving during the game.
In the middle of an at-bat?
Well, I don't know if in the middle of an at-bat. He might complete his at-bat. But if he's out there at first base and he's got a no-hitter going and then a pinch runner comes out, he knows it's baby time.
I like that. I mean, I think the Mets have gotten in trouble a lot over the years when they... This sounds weird, but they get too focused on the game. I think baseball players need to relax and take it easy.
But it's also life. These people are human beings, just like you and me, Eddie. And do we have an update on what deGrom's doing?
Yeah, Mets up 1-0.
There you go.
DeGrom has 4 Ks.
And he has 4 Ks.
Now, Law just had a baby. Would you have left in the middle of a segment? Like in the middle of like hour 2? Like, let's say now.
This is different.
Yeah.
You wouldn't leave here.
This is the big time. I don't know if I can, but...
This is an opening day.
This is Major League.
I was on call at the Super Bowl. Knowing what I know now a little bit more about it, like, deGrom has time. If this is his first child and the water breaks, he's got a little bit of time.
Now, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Sir, excuse me. Now, listen. This is where, where Eddie, Kaye Thomas, and myself can help the situation to give a little bit more light here. The Van Wyck Expressway was not between you and the delivery room.
True.
Okay?
It's true.
And as you know from Seinfeld, nothing ever beats the Van Wyck.
And he's got to get out of there before the game ends.
Here's
That's the important part. Is he doesn't want to get caught in that Met game
traffic. If he's past the 5th with the lead, I'm out because it counts as a win if he leaves.
It's an official baby.
It's an official win.
An official
baby. I'm out.
And also, you don't want him on the mound worrying about the possibilities.
It's true.
Like, if he doesn't know, then he's like, it might be happening right now, but I got to focus. I got to focus.
Yes.
Just throw the ball. And if you got to go, you go.
Let's be honest, he's doing whatever his wife says, like we all would do.
And also, with all due respect, it is the Phillies. He should be able to handle that.
It's a Major League Baseball team.
He should be able to handle that.
It's a Major League team. He's earned it. If he needs a few innings off, he's earned it.
How'd you handle the World Series run last year? What was that all about for you? Magical, disappointing?
I would like to say it was a victory because I remember sitting here with you probably a year ago today.
Yeah, right.
And I think I said something like, I think Wilmer Flores is going to have an exceptional year. Something stupid like that. It was a success, and I think they exceeded expectations. I loved watching them go for it mid-season, and I dropped a few tears when they swept the Cubs. And then look, the Royals, that's as good of a baseball team as you're going to get.
They are.
That's an incredible team.
Now,
hats off to them.
If I had to win a game, though, for the Mets, I'd put deGrom on the mound. And then I'd go Syndergaard, and maybe then Matt Harvey. Which I think here's my deal with
the girl that brung you. I mean,
well, but here's the deal with Matt Harvey. Okay, is that just because he was the first, and you put all the eggs in the Tom Seaver eggs in that basket of hope of you got to believe that he's the one to lead it back, doesn't mean these other guys can't go ahead and surpass him in terms of.
Do you think you're saying that if he didn't pitch that 9th inning?
No. I thought he was terrific.
I think that changed everything.
I
the
am
fact
not.
that Terry let him go out, which was Terry's fault, which was not Matt Harvey's fault. It's Matt's job to say, I got to go out there, and it's Terry Collins' job to say, absolutely
This
not.
has nothing to do with that.
Really?
This has to do with more of like, say, opening days situation, where Cespedes botches the ball in the outfield, and suddenly now there's another runner on base because he's walked. Instead of just like putting a foot in the ground and keeping the crooked number or some number off the scoreboard, and it seems like he doesn't get the run support after that, and then now you're 4-1, 5-1.
I think it's tricky because if it's not Matt Harvey who's your number one, then a debate starts, you know, and then you got to pick one of them.
Right.
They're all incredible. They're all aces on any other team.
Right.
So you might as well go with the Dark Knight.
Right. I hear you. And I know Mets fans swear by him. And by the way, as a Yankee fan, if he wants to come put the pinstripes on, I'm the first guy to say, come. I'm the first guy to say,
he's a Yankee.
welcome, Matt.
He grew up a Yankee fan, right?
Well, were you upset when he showed up injured for Jeter's last game in the stands?
No. I mean, just like I think it's, they're human beings. I like seeing baseball players be human beings and relax.
And that's what we're talking about with you know, Bryce Harper saying that let us be human beings. Let's show some emotion. If one of these guys shows you up, don't come up and in with a fastball. Let us be a little bit emotional.
Yeah, and especially now the game's changing. I mean, the world is changing. Twitter's changing everything. So I want to see these guys go crazy every once in a while.
You're not on Twitter, Eddie, are you?
I'm not on Twitter because if I was on Twitter, I'd be on Twitter all the time looking at information about myself. And I don't need any more information about myself. I mean, I Google myself enough.
Google alerts.
Now,
right?
this is not a metaphor for anything, right? Like an actual.
Oh, no, that was only a metaphor. I was Googling myself all morning.
Okay. Scorpion, season 2, this thing's blowing up again.
That looked exciting, right? That was the first time I saw that clip.
The clip,
Got some
we just
laughs
showed
in
the TV
studio.
audience.
Good.
Yeah. Where you had some sort of device to take another scepter out of
We
something,
tell silly jokes. I'm like the Groucho Marx of CBS procedurals, the Indiana Jones jokes. And,
well, somebody's got to fill that role.
You know what? It's cool. They're letting us do stuff like that. They're letting us tell silly, fun jokes, and it's an outrageous show. It's fun. It's a show for, you know, have a crappy Monday, then come home and watch us break into Fort Knox.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the season finale is the Monday of draft week, April 25th. The next episode's coming up Monday.
We're going to break into Fort Knox. We're going to stop a nuclear meltdown at Chernobyl.
Really?
And then I can't say anything about the finale other than that it's amazing.
And that you're going to get, well, the finale is about, I don't want to give it away, you're going to get DeGrom to the hospital through the Van Wheel.
Damn. That's going to be the most exciting one.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
That is high wire.
Can they do it?
That is high wire. Did you hear about this whole Piazza jersey stuff with the Mets, with the 9/11 jersey?
Which, again, like you were saying about Kobe, Piazza has nothing to do with, right? But the Wilpons do.
Have we gotten the chain of command of this jersey?
Well,
We
the
have
straight?
I heard it was their property, and then they sold it.
They gave it away. It is now, because of the popularity around the story, it is now, the auction has gone up to, I believe I just read recently, $141,000.
But it shouldn't be.
Piazza's dad has spoken out about it. It should be in the Hall of Fame.
Now, there's no way Fred Wilpon had anything directly to do with this.
Sure, somebody.
But I would assume it's just the culture. You don't want whoever okayed this to feel free to okay something like that.
And plus, what did they do? They just took it off the wall? Because it was somewhere within the confines of Citi Field.
I guess they
one
signed Cespedes. They needed some more money. And they were like, you guys got anything to sell? How much are these chairs worth?
That's right.
I mean, how could you do that?
And the Wilpons looked underneath the cushions of their Yugo, or whatever they're now left to drive.
You'd think after the Madoff thing, they would be so careful with everything they did. But look, we can't ask for everything as Met fans.
No.
They got a good team on the field.
They do that.
They're idiots.
They're 1-0, and future closer, whatever DeGrom's going to name his kid, is coming. He's coming. Future closer. The 2040 Mets are going to have their closer.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.